Hi, here we are, the final essay, Chapter 4. What is the power of the monster? Now, considering that this is the final paper of the semester, okay, this is the last one, and because of that, it really ought to be the best work you're capable of doing. This is where you show where you've learned, an opportunity to show off, if you will. So I want to open up the subject area beyond just strictly Chapter 4. You may choose your own topic for the assignment, but it must be developed as an argument based in research with something connected to monsters. So, for example, you can do any of the making connection questions from Chapter 4. So you can read through the chapter, read the essays, read the questions, making connections, choose one of those making connection questions. That could be your paper. Or you can choose to research and investigate a monster that has not been talked about this semester. In other words, something that really hasn't been covered, or maybe in your opinion, not covered very well. This would be not vampires, not zombies, not Frankenstein's creature, not Godzilla. Right? We've talked about those things. Something else, something different. You might particularly look at a monster from a non-Western tradition that has been overlooked. Something from another part of the world might be a really great opportunity for a good final paper. Argue how the monster reflects its time and place of origin. Or choose a monster that has been recorded in many different cultures, places throughout history and examine its different manifestations. How does it appear in different places and times? What do those different manifestations reflect about the cultures from which they come? Such monsters could include dragons, plural, vampires, witches, male or female, werepeople, right? So we have the werewolf as a prominent monster, but there are also werebears and other kinds of creatures that people transform into. Merpeople, so this would be mermaids or mermen, or any other such creature. In other words, something that appears in different places around the planet, around the world, okay? Or you can find a totally different topic that I haven't presented here that seems appropriate for the assignment. However, you must choose this. If you choose this option, you must communicate with me by this Thursday. That's not a lot of time, of course. I want to make sure that you're working in the right direction. So if you're going to tell me drugs are the monster, I'm probably going to say no, right? I'm probably just going to flat out say, no, I don't think so. Drugs, cigarettes, whatever. I want something that reflects what we've been doing this semester, not just some random topic that you try in some sort of superficial way to connect. That will not work. Now, due dates are super important because they're super, super tight. This is the end. We have only last 2 weeks. This is what happens when you take an 8-week course. Everything is accelerated. So the final paper is due Friday, May 28th at 11:59 p.m. That is the end of the entire semester, okay? Be sure to follow the out-of-class essay guidelines for matters of form and style, right? Some of you are not very good about that, so I would ask you to double-check those guidelines. They are not just merely suggestions. They're things that I want you to do. Be sure to include a word count at the end of your essay. Remember, you must meet minimum requirements for this assignment, including the word count, sources, and subject matter. No late essays will be accepted. After all, this is the end of the semester. I believe Canvas actually shuts off in the sense that you won't be able to submit. So some of you have gotten some grace from me when you submit a few minutes after midnight, and I'm like, oh well, whatever. That's not going to happen here because Canvas won't even take it. So you will be out of luck. Submit a thesis. Okay, so the first thing is the thesis outline. Right, that's where you lay out your thesis sentence, lay out what your topics are going to be. That needs to be turned in by Friday, May the 21st at 11:59 p.m. Have MLA citations for 4 of your sources, none of which are from the textbook. Some of you don't seem to understand that still, right? I see your sources, I want to see the research that you've done. I know what's in the textbook. Not that you can't use it. Of course you can use the textbook, but I want to see 4 sources that you have found that you can use. A participation grade will be assigned for this. Then, as we have done in the previous 3 chapters, we'll divide up into peer editing groups. You will submit your rough draft to the Canvas work group and to me on Tuesday. So this is a day earlier than normal. That's because we have a Friday due date, not a Monday due date. So Tuesday, May the 25th, 11:59. Submit completed peer editing sheets to your work group by Thursday, May 27th. So you turn it into the work group and to me again. So remember, both the rough draft goes to the work group and to me. Your edits go to the work group and to me. Okay. But what are the, and remember, everything's a little bit earlier than normal. We have a Tuesday due date for the rough, a Thursday due date for the peer edits. You do not get a final weekend, so that's why that is. Minimum requirement. So here's the big news. The big news is we doubled up the size of the paper. Okay. Now some of you have already been sneaking towards 2,000 words. I had quite a few Chapter 3 papers that were, let's say, in excess of 1,500 words. Some of you were 1,800 words already. So you're already getting there. But remember, long just for the sake of being long is not interesting. Okay, you have to have concrete details. You have things to say to justify the 2,000 words. Okay, so it's 2,000 to 2,500. Strong essay structure, including introduction, concession, rebuttal arguments, main body, and conclusion. At least 8 sources this time. Okay, so we've gotten a little bit bigger with every paper. 8 sources, 6 of which originate in print or have print analogs, and at least 4 which are either dissertations, peer-reviewed journal articles, or excerpts from university press books. Once again, our textbook does not count. Again, you can use the material from our textbook, but it doesn't count towards your 8. Okay. Mla format for all documentation, including in-text citations of works cited. I will ding your grades severely for bad Mla format or doing a different format like APA format or some other format that is not MLA. MLA is the only format that we use in this class, and that's what I expect you to do. Okay, so this opens up your final paper to a lot of different possibilities. The one thing you cannot do is procrastinate, because we actually have less time than normal for this final paper, even though I'm asking you for more than normal. I'm aware of that, but that's just the way it is when you take an 8-week course. You have to do all the work in half the time, and this is the final paper assignment. Good luck. I look forward to seeing what you have when you produce this.